Howdy guys, Kirk and family here with Kirk Giordano Plastering. Today what we're going to do is, the folks here from the PTA called me and said, Kirk, we need to smooth this wall out because we're going to apply a finish for a chalkboard so the kids could come over here and draw on. And we originally were going to do a little portion within this, and I said, well, why not do the whole wall? Because believe me, I've raised 5 kids, and if you have a bunch of chalk, they're going to be pushing and scratching each other's eyeballs out to get a little area to go ahead and play on. So he said, well, it's not within the budget. I said, if it's for the school, it's a worthy cause. I'll bring my family out and we'll take it from corner to corner this way. There's plenty of room for all the kids. In fact, when I left the house this morning, I stepped over a bunch of chalk that the kids were writing on the ground. So anyway, what we're going to do here is we are going to pressure wash this, and fortunately there's no lead in this paint because the school district doesn't mess around. It's only a 3-month-old paint job, so we still got to get smudge marks off, grease or whatever this was, and prep this. We're going to then apply a bonding agent to this wall. We're going to cover it, and myself and my family are going to go ahead and apply it. Here's my experienced workforce over here. That's my lot right there. They'll apply it and I'll spread it out, and then we'll hard rubber float it to give it the smoothest finish possible. They look like they're ready to start working, so we're going to get busy and pressure wash this, and we'll show you how we apply it over this. And one last thing, guys, the fellas here said, hey, we got cinder block. This is not cinder block, this is form boards, and it's poured concrete. How do I know? Because I can see the lines with a heavy dash painted finish. So anyway, as we get ready to apply this, we'll show you how we do it. All right guys, we're doing the fun stuff, the bonding agent. So we're putting the bonding agent. The most important on the bonding agent is make certain you get around the edges, because the edges are what would peel off first. All right guys, I want to introduce you to Mike and Bradley. This is Mike, this is Bradley. These are the fellows responsible for donating all their time to the PTA to hire guys like me, make sure we do our project right. So
thanks guys. Appreciate it, Kirk. Yep. Appreciate the hard one.
Mud! That's what we used to say, Union, when the guys took too long to bring us mud. Come on, boy. Fill us up. I just sit here. Heck, I can go sit in my truck and these guys know how to do this already. Fill it up, fill it up. Okay. You guys might think, how thick do we need to go? 1/2 inch. And guys, we're just using regular premium cement mixed with sand. We buy the sand and we mix it with the sand that's on the truck. This is not pre-mixed stuff like you get at, say, Home Depot or Lowe's. That product would work. What I'll generally do is we all work together. So Jay's getting started with Dan. Hey Jay, you come spread with me. Now Dan should be able to keep up because we have a full mixer. And what basically I'm doing is I want these guys to put it on fat and ugly. Once we apply this material, keep going, keep filling these boards. Once we apply this, I have about a 1/2 hour to darby it. That means make everything true and plumb. Over here, Jay.
On all the bottoms, you hit the tops.
Okay. What I like about these guys. They do the stuff I don't want to do, the low stuff. How's it going? All right. Oh, that's okay, baby. That's all right.
You make it look so easy.
Because I'm a professional.
Really?
I'm supposed to make it look easy.
It's hard to get it on. Stay on without dropping it. You have to get it.
Well, my English wife, she's only been doing this for a little bit. Now Carl, Madeline, Jay, Dan, these guys have been doing this with me for a long time. Madeline is on school. She works for the school, the Parks District in Alameda, teaching little kids about the ecology because she is studying marine biology. And she's on holiday right now with school being out. She's studying marine biology. She agreed to come out here and give us a chance, give us a hand because of the consequences, working with, or the circumstances, working with the school. What a noble cause. As soon as I spread this out, I will go ahead and derby this area. Hey, baby. That's it, baby. You do whatever you can. That's for you beginners. If your arms get tired of plastering, then you do something else. Fat and ugly, guys, fat and ugly. Don't make it pretty. And what I generally do, folks, is we put it on. And by that, I mean fat and ugly. That way, if it's hot and skinny, then man, when I get ready to derby it, it sure makes my job hard. Fat and ugly, I'll show you why. Oh, if you're still watching this after all this time, give me another 30 seconds and I'll show you how we derby it all. There you go, baby. Fat and ugly. I'd rather have too much than not enough, because if I have too much, I move it to an area that needs more. I'll show you in a second now. Grab my dog. Okay, guys.
Give me that pool trowel.
Oh, got Jason's good. What I'm doing, guys, is getting ready to rod it or derby. We go fat and ugly. That way I can take the excess and put it where I need it. For example, we take it, we come here, come here, and I look at the wall. Where do I need mud? Oh, I can use a little bit down here. didn't have too much to do union forever, day after day after day, month after month. They would blow it up with a pump, all of that pump. All right, you guys got the idea. If you ever want to do a playground, turn it into a chalkboard. All these steps are necessary. So we're going to take the whole wall. We're almost done. Then we're going to take about an hour break. Let this set. Then I'm going to hard rubber float it, make it as smooth as possible. So when they apply their chalkboard finish, now I'm not certain how that's going to go. If they're going to paint it on, hand apply it like us, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We're not actually doing that. The PTA members are. Okay guys, we are done with the skim coat. Now skim coat, all I had to go was enough to cover all the block lines. We're going to let this set for a half hour. Madeleine's got a real job she's got to get to, and my wife is going to leave too and go home. And thanks guys, Jason and I are going to stay here and watch this dry and float it out. We'll show you that part too. Okay guys, it's been a little bit over an hour since the crew left, and thought I'd point something out here because Mike originally called me and said, "Hey, gee, Kirk, I'm the PTA fella. I'm going to do this wall myself." He sent me some pictures, and so I was explaining to him how to do it. And after several days and 5 or 10 emails, he said, "Hey, Kirk, what would you charge me to do it?" So one of the things you folks need to learn or understand when doing something like this, I'm doing everything in a day. Our weldcrete, the pressure washing, all that does is it slows up. This is a sealed wall to begin with, so there's so many intricate things to understand. You folks planning on doing this in your own backyard for your children to play, there's a lot of things. I would suggest multiple coats. I would suggest do the pressure washing one day and come back another. And we have a whole bunch of kids here right now that are eyeballing this wall. I know what they're thinking. I know those kids over here are thinking, man, as soon as those guys leave, I'm going to be the first one to put my name in that. This is going to set, I guess, in about another 2 hours. In about 15 minutes, Jay and I are going to start hard rubber floating every square inch of this in order to compress it, compact it, and get it as smooth as possible for their application of that chalkboard material. Again, I don't know what that stuff is, but I told them, you better wait 28 days, allow this to cure, and then put it on. Whether or not you're going to go by hand or roll it on, not certain how that works, but I guess you folks can Google that if you're considering putting a playground in your own backyard for your kids to ride on rather than the ground. Anyway, we're going to float, and we'll show you that part next. Okay guys, Jason and I are putting our final touches on this wall, and what we're doing is, because I darbied it, I left darby lines in it to open it up. Now we've got to hard rubber float it. I got to get the darby lines out, number one. And number two, I want to compact it and make it as flat as possible. This is the way to make it as flat as possible. And you folks, little tips are, just take your float up here, get that stuff out. If you got any holes like this, you can just use your finger, push it in, and remove all that stucco out of there. You don't want the drains clogged. And with this particular project, it's been quite amusing. I had a little fella come up to me and say, "Mister, can I play in the sand, the back of your truck, play with the sand?" And I thought, get out of here, kid. No, you can't, it's too dangerous. Then he asked me, "How much longer are you going to be here?" And the way he asked me that, I thought, how much longer am I going to be here? It reminded me when my kids were younger and Jackie and I would go on away for a weekend. They'd say, "Hey, how long are you going to be gone? You need me to carry your bags outside?" And I think, uh-oh, party time. I guess that's what these little fellows are thinking as soon as we leave. But that's not on us. We're just doing our job, and somebody else got to watch this wall. Anyhow, guys, my name is Kirk. I'm with Kirk Giordano Plastering. We thank you for watching, and as usual, I'll see you guys on the next one.